Hey guys, so today I'm going to be sharing with you my September book haul. I bought a lot of books in September. As you can tell, I still have a cold. It is about 38 degrees where I live in Canada, so it is summer weather, but I have a terrible cold. So my reading has slowed down a bit. I am focusing more on audiobooks because my head is too cloudy to sit and read. But yeah, I bought a lot of books this month, a lot that I'm really excited about. So let's just jump right into it. There is one that I forgot to bring up with me. It is currently 2 floors away downstairs, but I bought It by Stephen King, and I am currently about 100 pages through reading it. I haven't made a lot of progress, but I have made some progress. This month I purchased The Problem with Forever by Jennifer L. Armentrout. At the beginning of this month I read Don't Look Back by this author, so at the end of the week you will see my wrap-up posted, but I will also leave a link to the review down below. I loved that book and was convinced I wanted to pick up another one of hers. She had another one come out, If There's No Tomorrow, I think, and that one didn't scream to me. This one sounded a little bit more up my alley. So this one is about a girl named Mallory who has gone through a traumatic event in her life. The synopsis doesn't tell us what it is. So she's been homeschooled, but about 4 years later decides she wants to go back to living a normal life and go back to school. But I guess at that school she runs into a guy that was connected to the event. So it sounds like it's going to be contemporary, but with a lot of growth. And yeah, like I said, I don't know what the traumatic experience was, but I'm all for those kinds of novels, and I enjoyed her writing in the last one, so I'm looking forward to this one. I picked up When Gentle Met Reach You by Cynthia Menon. Sorry, I'm so bad with names, especially with this congestion. This one I've heard so many good things about. It is a recent release. We follow 2 young kids that have been set in a prearranged marriage, but they don't know it yet, so they meet on their own terms. I think the guy knows that their parents have already set them up and she doesn't know. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun and cute, and I don't know, I'm really excited about this. I've heard nothing but amazing things. Then, because we're going into October, which is one of my favorite months, I love fall and I love the spooky horror things that October brings with it, I decided to pick up a couple scary thriller novels. So the first one I got is The Rules by Nancy Holder and Debbie Viguet. Sorry. When I looked this one up at Chapters, it seemed very young adult. Saw, which is one of my favorite movie franchises ever. I love the psychological thriller aspect behind it as well as the horror. So very excited about that, but that's what led me to this. So on the back it says, here are your rules: don't run, don't scream, play the game. So obviously that's very attributed to Jigsaw, so I'm really looking forward to this. I'm sure it's going to be a quick read, and I'm looking forward to getting to it in October. I picked up Famous Last Words by Katie Allender. I have read another novel by this author. I think it was called Bad Girls Don't Die, Bad Girls Don't Lie, something like that. That one I thought was alright. I think I gave it 3 out of 5 stars when I read it. This one seems like it's going to be kind of satirical. I think that's the word. Just like comedically funny in the gothic sense. It is about a, I think, famous teen girl and a serial killer in Los Angeles. So, I don't know. I think it'll be funny. I think it'll be a quick read. I'm not too high hopes for it, but it had really good Goodreads reviews, so I picked her up. And then the last of the 3 horror books that I picked up is probably the one I'm most excited for, and that is The Dead House by John Gertkick. Sorry, so bad with names, and my voice cracked real bad. So this one is about 3 students that died. One vanished without a trace 20 years ago. They never found the bodies. They only had a main suspect. Nobody was blamed for the crime. Nobody served time for it. But this novel is interesting in the way that it is told not just in novel form, but in different excerpts and case files and psychology reports, witness testimonials, and a discovered diary. So it is a psychological thriller that I think has some horror aspects, and I'm so looking forward to this. I picked up 3 bargain books this month. As many of you know, I love going and shopping the bargain books at Chapters. They always have the best options for books that I already wanted to buy anyway. So the first one is Killing Kate by Alex Lake. I purchased this last month or the month before when it was a Kindle monthly deal, so I'm really excited to have this in physical form. This is a adult psychological thriller. I believe it's adult. And it is about a girl named Kate who just got over a bad breakup. She went away on a little bit of holiday with her friends and has come back to discover that there's a serial killer in her town, and all of the victims look a lot like Kate. So she is hoping it is a coincidence, but she is getting messages and feelings that it is not, and that this killer is after her. So I'm really excited about this. I think it's going to be really suspenseful, and I've heard good things. I picked up The Hate U Give by Angie Thomas. This is a novel I've been wanting to get for quite some time. I'm not going to talk about it too much because it has circulated its way all across BookTube, and for good reason. I saw it on Sailor Chapters and I couldn't resist. So this is a novel kind of dedicated as an ode to the Black Lives Matter movement. As many of you know, I did live in Canada, just a little bit out of Toronto, so I'm not completely exposed to all of the issues surrounding this, but from what I've read in the media, I understand all of the problems that it is causing that I can't even get into words to describe how horrific it all is. So yes, so I'm very looking forward to reading this novel and getting a whole new appreciation for the subject. The last bargain book that I grabbed was We'll Never Be Apart by Miko Jean. I picked this one up from the library over the summer, and it was on one of my monthly TBRs, and I never got around to it. So when I saw it in hardcover for $6, I couldn't resist. How could I? This is about a 16-year-old girl, I forget her name, Alice, who is currently locked in a mental hospital because she tried to set fire to her house after, I think, an issue with her boyfriend or whatever. So yes, there is some teen angst there, but in this mental hospital, she starts to hear voices and whispers. So it is either psychological or supernatural, and I'm really excited to go into this kind of blind and figure out which part of the genre it fits into. And then the last 4 books are the ones that I'm most excited about. They are all new releases for September. One of them I have read, so that's the one I'm going to start with. And that is Welcome Home, an anthology about adoption, and this was edited by Eric Smith. I did receive an ebook art copy from NetGalley, so I will post my review for that down below. But I loved it so much that I decided to pick up my own physical copy of it. So I will link my review down below, and then you will also see all of my thoughts in my wrap up at the end of the week. This just had, I can't even remember how many stories in it by different authors. Some I loved more than others, but some of them made me cry. Some of them I had to read a couple of times over. I loved it so much. So on my blog and in my review, I rated each story individually, but I am most excited because I was exposed to so many authors I'd never read before that I was captivated by their writing and their storytelling that I'm excited to get to know more of their works. So yeah, I loved this. So then I grabbed They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. This is told in a world that's very similar to ours, but a little bit different in that you get a text message or a notification 24 hours before you are going to die. You don't know how you're going to die or where, you just know you have 24 hours left. So in this novel, we follow 2 guys that connect through a social media platform that you kind of share a death day with people, and you can talk to this person through your last day, and you both understand what the other one is feeling and all of that. So like I said, I haven't read this yet. It was one of my most anticipated for the month, as were the other 2 I'm about to haul. I read almost 10 books this month, and the 3 that were on my most anticipated I didn't get to. I don't know how I managed that. But yeah, this one sounds really good. I've heard really, really good things, so I'm looking forward to reading it very soon. I picked up The Dreadful Tale of Prosper, writing by Alexandra Bracken, who is one of my favorite authors. The day that this one and They Both Die at the End came out, I was in chapters that day. So this is a middle grade novel, and in it we follow a young boy named Prosper who thinks he is ordinary compared to everyone else in his family, until one day he discovers that there is a demon living inside of him. And one of his great-great-great-great-grandfathers made a deal with this demon, and it is Prosper's turn to pay up. So he has a couple of days to figure out how to banish this demon and get on with his life. So yeah, I think that's the story we follow in this novel. It is a series, so I'm not sure where it could go from there, but I'm really excited to read it. The spine is gorgeous, and yeah, quite looking forward to it. And then the last book that I have to haul is the one that I'm currently reading. It did not officially come out until the 26th of September, but on Sunday I saw on the Chapters app that they had 5 in stock, so I ran out after work to get it, and that is There's Someone Inside Your House by Stephanie Perkins. This is probably my most anticipated novel of the year. I am so looking forward to reading this one, and like I said, I am currently reading it, but because I am sick, I'm just barely through. So this is a young adult horror thriller novel that I've been told compares a lot to the screenplays for the Scream movies, which I love. So yeah, I'm all about the horror thriller thing this month. As I'm sure you can tell, they're some of my favorite novels to read. But yeah, still looking forward to this. I think it's going to be fantastic. So yeah, those are the 12 books that I purchased this month. I know that seems like a lot, but September was my birthday month, so I had some gift cards to use up, which I think I spent quite well. I'm so excited about all of these books. If you've read any of the ones that I talked about, make sure you let me know what you thought of them so that I can read them first. And if there's any that you would like to see me read and review, make sure you let me know so I can do that for you. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you in a couple days. Bye.